Hello and welcome to Byju's IAS. Let's get started and look into our daily quiz. Let's look into the first question. With reference to Attorney General of India, which of the following statements are correct? The term of AG is not fixed by the Constitution. AG is barred from private legal practice. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is one only. Why? When we look into the first statement, yes, the Constitution of India does not fix any term for the Attorney General. How does this work? Whenever we have a new government or the government of the day will select who the Attorney General would be. The Constitution does not define the tenure or the term for the Attorney General. When you look into the second statement, AG is not barred from private practice. What do we mean by it? Generally, when you look at Attorney General of India, you would assume that he is a government servant, but he is not. He can also take up private practice as well, but only thing is when he is taking up the private practice, when he is picking up a private case, that case cannot go against the government of India. If that particular case is against the government of India, the Attorney General would not be able to take up that particular case. So the Attorney General can accept briefs but cannot appear against the government even if he is taking up the private practice. He cannot defend any of the accused who is involved in the criminal proceedings, and at the same time he cannot accept the directorship of a company without the permission of the government of India. Now the question for you is, we have Article 76 of the Indian Constitution which speaks about the Attorney General. Does this also speak about Solicitor General? Does it also speak about Additional Solicitor General? Put it on the comment section. Why have we taken this practice question? Because of the reference in this article where the Attorney General Venugopal has been given extension by the government of India by a year. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which of the following statements about exercise sea breeze are correct? It brings South China Sea nations and US allies together to train and operate in the pursuit of building increased capability. It will be an annual exercise beginning from 2021 as it marks the centenary celebration of Communist Party of China. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is none. Why? That is because this particular exercise, that is exercise sea breeze, brings together all those countries in and around the Black Sea, and it is not South China Sea. So countries in and around Black Sea and those countries which are part of NATO and US allies come together every year and they conduct this particular exercise called as exercise sea breeze. Kindly remember, this exercise sea breeze started in the year 1997 and has been taking place since that year annually every year. What does it do? All the countries come together, they involve themselves in the maritime exercise which also includes land and air components as well. Why do they come together? That is to increase the capability, that is also to ensure that there is interoperability as well, and multiple warfare areas such as amphibious warfare, land maneuver warfare, diving operations, maritime interdiction operations, air defense, specialized operations integration, all of these along with search and rescue operations will be enabled in this particular exercise. So this is a multinational maritime exercise which includes the Black Sea nations and the US allies who are part of NATO. Why have we taken this practice question? Because of the reference in this article. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following statement. Bahitan Dam is the world's second biggest hydroelectric dam on the Jinsha River, a tributary of the Yangtze River. Yangtze is the longest river in Asia, the third longest in the world, and the longest in the world to flow entirely within one country and drains into South China Sea. Which of the above statements are correct? The answer to this is one only. Why? That is because when you look into the second statement, yes, Yangtze is the longest river in Asia. This is correct. It is also the third largest in the world. This is also correct. It is the longest in the world flowing within one single country. This is also right. But this does not drain into South China Sea, but instead it drains into East China Sea, which is why the second option to this is wrong. So the answer would be 1 only. When you look into the first statement, yes, Baihitan Dam is the world's second biggest hydroelectric dam on the Jinsha River. Why have we taken this practice question? Because of the reference in this article. So when we speak about Baihitan Dam, as we have just discussed, this will be the world's second biggest hydroelectric dam on the Jinsha River, which happens to be a tributary of the Yangtze. When we speak about Yangtze, it is the longest river in Asia. It is the third longest in the world. So the question is, which are the 5 longest rivers in the world? First, what we have is Nile. Followed by this, what we have is Amazon. Followed by this, we have Yangtze. Followed by this, we have Mississippi. And finally, we have Yenisei River. These are the 5 longest rivers of the world. As part of assignment, you guys will have to put it on the comment section. Where does this river flow through? Which are the countries these rivers flow through? And which is the continent they are present in? Why? Because UPSC in the past has also asked questions as to which river passes through which country and continent. So kindly look into this particular assignment where you have to put on the comment section which continent, which country and the number of countries these rivers pass through. Now when we look into this particular project of Baihitan Dam, this has been undertaken by China primarily because it has to reduce the import of coal as well as other oil resources. Since this is based on the hydroelectric power generation, what China believes is if we increase the hydroelectricity power generation, we would be able to reduce the coal import and at the same time we would be able to reduce the import of oil. As of now, China is spending exorbitantly when it comes to the import of oil and coal. In order to prevent it, they have gone through the means of hydroelectricity power generation. This is where number of environmentalists have opposed this particular project. They've also criticized as well, but all of this does not matter to China. Hydropower is losing support in multiple countries world over, but it is being supported in China primarily because of the economic considerations. What are the various issues with respect to hydropower in this particular region? This particular region is seismically active, and at the same time, whenever there is construction of the dam, the farmlands and farm fields in that particular region is inundated with water. This disrupts the ecology of the rivers, threatens the fish and other species that are present in this particular region, which is why number of environmentalists had opposed this particular program. But despite the criticism by the environmentalists, Chinese leaders are building more dams so that they can reduce their reliance on coal and curb the surging demand from import of oil and gas. From the map based question, you have to know where is this Jinsha River, which is a tributary of Yangtze River, and Yangtze River ultimately flows into East China Sea. And we have other important dam projects as well. This includes Dagu, Jiexu, Zhangmu and Jiacha. This is as shown in the picture, so kindly note their location. These are the other important dam constructions which are once again being undertaken in China. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which of the following statements are correct? Persons with disabilities have right to reservation in promotions. Reservation to promotion can be given to a PWD even if the person was not originally appointed in PWD quota. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is both. Why have we taken this practice question? Because of the reference in the Hindu article. What does this statement mean? When you look into the first statement, generally we have the reservation process in India. This reservation is also given to persons who have been suffering from disability. So this is not only provided initially when that particular person is provided a reservation via the quota process, but it is also given for the promotions as well. So it is not only for the entry, but it also means that when a person has the entitlement for promotion, reservation will have to be given for a person who is suffering from disability. So it is not only at the time of entry, but when there is promotion for that particular person, and if that person is suffering from disability, reservation will have to be provided at suitable time for the promotion. This is the first statement. The second statement says reservation to promotion can be given to a PWD even if the person was not originally appointed in the PWD quota. Let me explain this statement for you. There are two types of people that that you have to consider here. Let's say there is one of the person who's entered a particular job role. How? By making use of the quota or the reservation. There is another person who's entered the job role, but he did not make use of the quota system. Back then when he was appointed to this particular job role, he did not have any disability whatsoever. So he was appointed to that job role without any quota, without any reservation. Why? Because he was completely normal. Now what happens? As we have defined in the first statement, if this particular person has entered via the reservation, he would by default be provided the reservation. But if this particular person is normal while entering the service, but after entering the service he's become disabled, even in such a situation where he did not enter via the quota system, via the reservation, but after he entered he is disabled, in such a situation he has to be given the reservation for the promotion, is the second statement. So the Supreme Court of India, in recently one of the landmark judgments, State of Kerala and others versus Lisamma Joseph, has gone ahead and said that a person who is appointed normally without any reservation but has been disabled during the process of working, then he is entitled to reservation for promotion using the disabled quota, says the Supreme Court of India. So this article speaks about both these parameters as we have just discussed. Consider the following statements. Natural gas occurs in the Gondwana beds. Mica occurs in abundance in Godharma. Dharwars are famous for petroleum. Which of the statements given above is or correct? The answer to this is 2 only. Why? Natural gas is not found in Gondwana, but instead coal is found in Gondwana. So the first statement is wrong. Second statement, mica occurs abundance in Kodarma. This is a correct statement. And when you look into the third statement, Dharwars, which is currently in the state of Karnataka, there we do not have the presence of petroleum. So the answer to this would be 2 only. This happens to be a previous year question from the year 2013. Now let's look into the fact of the day. The fact of the day for today's discussion is Agni Prime. What is this Agni Prime? This is a next generation nuclear capable weapon made fully of the composite materials. Previously, we have had Agni 1, Agni 2, Agni 3, 4 and 5, which are the nuclear capable missiles. As part of the assignment, you guys will have to give me the range of what is the range of Agni 1, Agni 2, Agni 3, Agni 4 and Agni 5. So please put it on the comment section because this can be important from the preliminary examination. This Agni Prime is a new generation advanced variant of Agni class of missiles. It is a canisterized missile which has a range capability between 1000 to 2000 km. Since it is a canisterized missile, it can be launched from the rail and road and can be stored for a longer period of time. It can be transported all across the country as per the operational requirements. Since it includes the canisterization, it also reduces the time required to launch this particular missile while improving its storage as well as its mobility. As we have just discussed, its range is about 1000 to 2000 km and can hit a particular enemy territory, and this can act as increasing the deterrence for India. Added to this, the ballistic missile weighs 50% less than the Agni 3 and also has new guidance and new generation propulsion. Agni Prime has been designed and developed by the Defense Research and Developmental Organization, which is nothing but DRDO. So kindly remember, of all the Agni series that we have, the longest of the Agni series happens to be the Agni 5, which is an intercontinental ballistic missile with a range of over 5000 kilometers. So all that you have to do for today is to find out the range of Agni 1, 2, 3, 4 and put it on the comment section. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.